Good evening, wherever you are in the world. Join us. Hi, Huang. Now I know why that happened. I am so happy to be here. This is Planet Union, and we are talking to people throughout the planet. And it really doesn't matter if you're from Australia or India or Europe, somewhere in Europe or South America. Come and join us. Let us get to know each other and let's have some fun. The link to join this show is in the caption, and I will also put it in the in the Zoom in the Zoom chat. No, the Facebook chat in a few seconds. I'm so happy we are already starting with an international group. Both Victor and I are from the United States, but we've never met in person because we're at least 3,000 miles away. I'm on the East Coast in Washington, D.C., and Victor is in California, in Sacramento. And we're not neighbors at all. We can't get in the car, drive 10 minutes, and be together. It would be a few days' journey. Huang is from Vietnam, and Zoom manager, who you don't see, but he's here managing the Zoom chat, is from Pakistan. So we have 3 countries here already. Let's get a few more. Having said that, Victor, I need to do some sharing out plus getting that information in the Zoom chat. So can you take over for a few moments while I get that
Huh, that's funny asking me to take over. That's what I do all the time. People have to ask me not to take over because taking over
Well,
is what I do.
let's put it this way, Victor. You're taking over for a while now, but I will take the show back at some point. But
Of course.
because you're so used to doing it, it's real easy to ask you to do it. So
Uh,
I'm
well, this
thrilled.
morning, Wong and Zoom manager, I was realizing some of the friendships and relationships that I have that I nurture on a consistent basis. And many of them are in this group called Toastmasters. Now, Toastmasters is an organization that helps people speak in public. That was the reason it was founded 97 years ago. But when he founded it, I don't know if he could have foreseen me meeting Carla, because if there wasn't a Toastmaster, I wouldn't know Carla. And if I didn't know Carla, I certainly wouldn't know Huang. I mean, how else would I run into Wong? I just wouldn't do it. So, being the deep thinker that I am, I realize that everything is connected to everything else. It's just a matter of taking the time to look at the connection and establish the connection. And once you get sold on the fact that everything is connected to everything else, what I think happens, or certainly what happened to me, is I'm a lot more present to everything that I do. I'm a lot more present to every activity that I take part of. I'm a lot more present to things that I say because who knows where the water ripple will end. Like if you throw a pebble in a body of water, it'll make a indentation in the water, but the ripples will go on and on and on. Wong, I just took 2 or 3 minutes to share an idea or so. What thoughts did that idea evoke in your mind?
Excuse me, before you go any further, I know that you are not from New York. And I asked you to tell me a story about that jacket in New York. And I'm waiting for that story.
Well, here goes. I was born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina, which is, I guess, maybe 1,000 miles from New York. But in the 50s and the 60s, it was common for people in Charleston, when they grew up, when they became adults, to leave town to go out and fly their wings. And a lot of times they would go to New York. And my parents were no different. So from time to time, my parents would visit New York. When I was a boy, I was in New York for the World's Fair of 1965. I used to go to New York to this large amusement park they called Coney Island. But that's just got New York on my radar. When I finally left home at age 18 and started meeting people from other parts of the world, someone said to me, "You look like Lawrence Taylor." Now, Lawrence Taylor is a world famous defensive player for the New York Giants. In Charleston, we didn't have a football team. We didn't have a home team that we rooted for. But people in New York, they rooted for the New York Giants. They loved the New York Giants. New York Giants was synonymous with football. And in an effort to establish contact or to establish some commonality between the people that I was spending my time with once I left Charleston, South Carolina, I took this comment about Lawrence Taylor as a compliment. Lawrence Taylor wore jersey number 56. So at the time that they were telling me I looked like Lawrence Taylor, I went and got me a New York Giants football jersey number 56. And for years, I wore that jersey. When I was young, I used to lift weights and work out and exercise, so I was cut a little bit like Lawrence Taylor. And from then on, it just became a habit to root for the New York Giants. However, Carla, I have to admit, I am a fair weather fan because when they lose, I don't root for them.
Okay. Now I know that story. And I'm sorry, anyone coming to the show needs to have their camera on now if you are a man or a boy. So, unless you're having some technical difficulty, Ron, please put on your camera or write your issue in the chat and I'll make a decision about it. But you have literally a minute to do one or the other, and I will be counting it down. Thank you so
58,
very, very much.
57, 56.
Hold on. Now you can talk.
Yes. So,
Victor asked you a question.
Victor, please say it again. I forget it.
Okay, I won't say all of it. I won't say all of it, but the crux of what I said was,
What's the
as a result
problem?
of things that the point of what I was making was, over the course of my life, I have found that everything is connected to everything else. And I preface that with the fact that if the fellow who founded Toastmasters, if he didn't create Toastmasters, then I wouldn't have been in Toastmasters. And if I was never a part of Toastmasters, I would have never met Carla. And if I never met Carla, I would have never met you. So the fact that all things are connected in that long story that I told before that, what thoughts does that evoke for you?
Thank you so much for asking me. Actually, yes, I agree with you that with some connectivity, we meet these other people, and from that, with other relationships, so we can meet a lot of people all around the world, right? So, from my side, in my opinion, I'm craving for studying more and to be qualified enough to support my student and to assist my participants to improve myself as well. So that's why I decided to join color class and color show. Yes, to talk with people and to educate myself. So this chance, that's a golden chance for me to meet you and a lot of international friends. They are amazing. They are wonderful, you know.
Well,
Okay,
I
Really.
took.
Huang, I need to say something to you about that. You came to me about a little over a year and a half ago. And when you first came, I could have never believed that you were speaking in English at all to people around the world. And you know why I'm saying this. And she came and she barely, you wouldn't believe this, Victor. I could barely get her to say hello. Barely. And a few months ago, I found out that Huang has been speaking English to people all over South Asia and other places offline for over 4 years. So, Huang, I want you to tell me the story. And I'm sorry, Imran Michael, you have to the count of 5 to put your camera on, or I will remove you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have all kinds of friends joining me. But Huang, I want you to answer that question. I am really eager to hear that answer, to be honest with you.
Yes, yes. Believe it or not, yeah. First time I met Carla, I couldn't open my mouth to speak out.
I'm sorry, you know I'm not laughing at you. We're removing this man. He may not be here. Zoom manager, do not allow him back in, please. Okay, Huang, tell your story, because I have been curious about this for a long time.
Yes, that's such a long time, but you know, such a big, like a huge improvement I have again, right?
Okay.
So that's why, I don't know, but after listening to you and other friends talking, you know, that's amazing. That kind of motivation to push my confidence up. Yeah, to transfer my vocabulary in my mind, in my brain, to my mouth, to speak out, to talk and communicate with people.
Okay, and do you like doing it?
Yes, of course. This kind of like saved my life. Yeah, the first time I couldn't talk, I couldn't interact with people, I couldn't express my idea, my opinions with you. But right now, I feel confident to talk my emotion, express my feelings. Right? I feel more happy and like a happier and happier. Right?
I am really thrilled when I found out you were doing that group and you sent me those pictures. I was like, where did this come from? And then you said, oh, I've been doing it for four years. And I was like, I couldn't get her to say hello 2 years ago. But that's the power of the internet, people. You may feel fear when you're first beginning. I felt fear. Mara will be able to speak to that in a moment. But unless you face your fear, you can't get past it. And Huang and I were talking about that, about a friend of ours, and I'm hoping that person comes today. Because once you face that fear, it begins to go away and away and away, and then you can move forward. And Huang, did you introduce yourself or did I do it? I don't remember.
Yes, thank you so much for giving me a chance to talk. Yes, I'm so happy today to be here. My name is Huang. Yes, my full name on the screen and my country there as well. I'm a teacher in a government university in the northern part of Vietnam. That a city is about 100 kilometers away from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. And I have been teaching here for more than 16 years with more than 10,000 students. It's kind of a little bit remote and mountainous location, but I'm happy to be here to support my students and to have a better life and better job in the future. Yeah, thank you so much.
And I'm so proud of you, Huang. You've really come so very, very far. And it's a joy to have you here. Really. Mara Khan, how are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing fantastic. It's great to see you after such a long time. We go way, way back.
We go back to the beginning of being online speaking English because of Abdullah Fatah and of course Rehan Alawala.
Sure.
Zoom manager, do not let in Imran Michael again. Okay, go on, introduce yourself.
So my name is Mara Khan. I am living in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, which is in the Midwest of the United States of America. By profession, I'm a registered nurse. I've also been teaching online for the past probably 6 years. I used to collaborate with Carla on the English, Learn English with by Speaking English show from the very second, was it the first or second day of your class?
Second day, I think.
The second day.
Because the first day I was so nervous, I was worried about bringing any extra person in.
Oh yeah, but we did great after that.
Yeah, we were fine.
We really developed it from there. And then as time went by, things kind of changed. And I had started doing English on my own page on Facebook, which is where another organization found me called Hallow. And I had always said, it would be so great if there was an application that helped English learners find other English learners, because there isn't enough native English speakers to help every English learner. And that's exactly what they did. They created an application for English learners to collaborate with other English learners to practice speaking their English. So I've been doing that on the side. With COVID, of course, I've been exceptionally busy. I've given probably close to 7,000 COVID vaccine injections, that is. I've done hundreds, if not thousands, of COVID tests. And I work with a private duty vet patient. I am married. I have 2 children. Some of my favorite hobbies are photography, reading, and traveling. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, now what do you think about teaching English?
What do I think about teaching English? Hazel, you need to settle down. I'm sorry, my dog is going a little nutty. I think that teaching English is a great way to learn about the world. It also helps me develop my cultural competency, because while I am very used to my own cultural situations, I have to be cognizant and understanding of other ways that other people's cultures are. So I learn a lot of things. I understand that oftentimes the biggest part of communication is misunderstandings, unintentional misunderstandings. And the more that we can work together, the more we can alleviate that. And I think that when we speak to each other, we realize we're so much more similar to each other than different.
Very great. Very good. And I'm so happy to have you here, Mara.
Thanks.
Thank you so very, very, very much for coming today. It's a big surprise. Now, I'm not going to make people mute themselves for this show for different reasons. As long as you're polite and you listen to each other, I have no problem. And we have Kader Hussein, who looks familiar to me, but I don't know if we've met before.
Hello, thank you so much, everyone. Yes, I know about you. Dr. Hong told me about you. Yes, I become very happy to join your Zoom meeting. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Kader Hussein. I am from Pakistan. I'm working in elementary and secondary education department. Recently, I joined this department, and I studied electronic engineering in bachelor and in master in business administration. So I would like to become public speaker. At evening time, I play cricket and to do gym and to make my body is my hobby. So whenever I get time, I used to walk, run, and do exercise for my bicep, tricep, as well as to make my body strong. This was my small introduction, and I know Dr. Harm from long time. She is very cooperative. Yes, Pakistan will win. Today, obviously Pakistan will win. And today, the performance of our player there were fantastic. So I like to speak like native speakers.
Great. And I know you said this, but I was a little bit distracted. What did you say you do for a living?
Recently, I joined elementary and secondary education department, a kind of administrator, monitor the schools.
Okay, can you tell us a little about that job that you do?
Yes, do you know, I have assigned 50 schools from our department. So on daily basis, I visit 2-3 schools, go there and check the attendance of teacher as well as students, check different indicator that water is available or not available, electricity is available or not available. On monthly basis, I visit one school and also know about each and everything about school. So if there is some deficiency, I reported that why this thing is not available. So in next month when I come there, I go there. So the department, they arrange everything for them. So I can I'm a kind of I monitor and the schools.
You're the person, I was a special ed teacher. You were the person that we always hated coming to the school because we knew something was going to happen. Are you teaching English in your schools at all?
No. I'm
not you personally, but in the schools that you work.
Do you know when I visit school? So when I enter to class, I ask questions from students that what you have learned in your classes. So I do know this is not my work. This is not my job to teach to students.
I understand that. Are the teachers teaching English in the school? In the schools?
Sorry, would you like to repeat it again?
are the teachers in the schools where you are supervising, are they teaching English?
Do you know, everyone, I think everyone teach their own subject. Here, mostly the subjects they are in English language. So yes, here the concept is there that if you are good in English, so you are intelligent, right? But nowadays it's changing, and if you look to the coursework is very difficult for some students. It is very difficult.
Are the schools mostly in English?
Yes, do you know? Yes, the schools are government schools, but mostly they are in English medium. The medium of instruction is English.
So are the kids, this is something that really interests me, are the kids only reading and writing English, or do they speak English too?
Do you know? Teachers they teach English to them, but in their own mother tongue. So they are explaining each and everything in their mother tongue.
Okay. Do they, Mara, you're really good at these questions. I make them too complicated. Do you want to try?
Okay, what she's essentially asking is there opportunities for the students to speak English with each other or in the classroom?
I don't know. It is very difficult for them to speak English with each other because they do not know about English. They only actually the teachers they do not teach in English to them. They are teaching to them in their local language. So very
What is
much
the
difficult.
local language for the majority of your schools?
Mostly Urdu, and Pashto.
Okay.
Yes. Do you know? Do you know? Once I visit one school. There was two children. They were migrated from United Kingdom to Pakistan, so they were admitted there. When I one of the teacher he told me that these two boys they came from United Kingdom and admitted here. So they were not able to speak a single word of Pashto or Urdu, but in the next visit, after 1 month, they were speaking English. They were speaking Urdu and Pashto.
Now, that's great.
Yes. Yes, really, I become wonder that which kind of people, which kind of boys they are, and they become very much familiar with them. First, they were looking mommy and daddy, and after 1 month, they were looking same like them.
It makes me wonder that if there was enough English speakers, would the other students in the classes start beginning to communicate in English?
Yes, really. I become also wonder. I asked from their teacher that what happened to them. They said that they are coming to school. They come to school and talk to the teach students, and they become like this. So I become wonder.
Imran? No, your caterer is saying, I'm sorry. You know that speaking a language is easier than reading and writing. So if
yes,
so,
exactly. Speaking is absolutely easy than reading and writing, and also listening. But speaking is easy because if you are living in an environment, so you will learn easily.
Right. So the reason I'm bringing it up, I'm going to have Victor talk a little because I think he feels a need to talk, but
Oh, wow.
yeah, and turn that off, Victor.
It's off.
So,
It's
so,
off.
so
It's off.
how I'll speak, how I'll speak
Wait,
like you.
Peter, wait a moment. I want to finish my point. So if you have your kids, the students, begin to speak to each other in smaller chunks, they're going to find English a more enjoyable language to learn. And that's the reason I'm bringing it up. And I've wondered why in Pakistan, and it's not just Pakistan, why kids are writing and speaking, writing and reading, but they're not speaking first. Hi, you, Kevin. We'll get to you in a moment. Are you there, Cater?
Yes, I'm here. I would like to know about the question there. What is the question? Would you like to repeat it again?
Okay, the question, it's not a question, it's actually a statement about learning any language. And even in my country, when I had to learn French in high school, they started us off speaking French. And then we learned to write and read and write it. So what I'm saying is, I don't understand why in Pakistan, all these people know English. They can speak English, but they often come to me and say, I cannot speak English. I can read and write it, but I cannot speak it. And when they say it, Mara knows, she's heard me say this millions of times, you're speaking English right now. You're not only speaking it, you're speaking it beautifully. So I wonder
Yes.
why, my question is, I wonder why you do it in that format. Why you don't just speak to the kids in English, because the teachers also know English.
Do you know, first of all, I would like to tell you that in our offices, mostly English language is uses. The use of English language is very much in every office. And also the medium of instruction at university as well as college level is English. So I know about English. And at our university, there were some foreign students. So I used to talk to them in English because they do not know about our language, and I do not know about their languages. So that is why I know about little bit English. Nowadays, I would like to learn Persian language as well, because Persian is very sweet language, and I would say I love to learn.
And
So
that's
I
great.
memorize.
Carla,
Sorry.
Yes, Mara?
I think it's because a lot of like technical resources as well as scientific curriculum is written in English language. And so for them to prepare the students to go to university and to participate in those higher level classes, they have to have an ability to read and write in English so they can understand the resources that are used in those kind of classes. And then in their home situations, their families are just used to using English or using their native language. So when they go to school, they speak the language that they're familiar to speak, just like we speak English because our families speak English. The people that we communicate speak English. In their communities, their parents and grandparents may speak Pashto or Urdu, and so they just communicate in that medium, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
Oh, yeah, that makes plenty of sense. I would love, as the Minister for English Literacy for the Insan Party, I really would love to see the schools begin to at least spend maybe a little time encouraging the kids to speak. Because if they did, all this shyness, oh, I can't do it, will go away. That's my my reasoning in asking this. Huang is also an educator, and actually Kevin is an educator when it comes to translating languages. And I'd really like to take this conversation further. It's one that really interests me. Kevin, do you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll have a round conversation about this? And Victor will also speak. He's not forgotten. Kevin.
Hi, I'm Yocheved. I've met some of you before. I live in Israel. I'm originally American. I'm a native English speaker. I work in translation. I translate things from Hebrew to English. I think everybody who works in language knows that speaking and writing and reading are all somewhat different skills, focuses. I know I happen to have a good ear for language and less good at the grammar and book part. So I, for example, did not particularly enjoy learning the year of Latin that I did when I was in university. It's not a spoken language. It's full of grammar issues, and I didn't enjoy it. Whereas hearing a language and being exposed to language for me is much more natural. So I can sometimes tell somebody that's wrong, but if they ask me to explain why it's wrong, I can't necessarily do it. You know, sometimes I may actually know the grammatical rule that's being broken or whatever. And of course, some things in language aren't explainable. You know, which preposition you use in which language is arbitrary. You just have to be a speaker of the language, and you know when you say in and when you say on and when you say next to, you know. So I don't know. So it's a skill set to some degree. And some people, my mother is bad at language in terms of spoken, but she never had a problem filling out a page with the grammar stuff. But she can't actually, you know, use language much or even really translate correctly. Like she'll get the general gist, but she doesn't know who's the subject of the sentence and who's the object, like, you know, who did the action. So that's some of it. And obviously some of it is getting used to it. You know, you have to have a comfort level with the speaking. Maybe there's a little more judgmentalism in speaking than in reading and writing. That's my piece. I don't know, my take.
Thank you, Kevin. Mara, you put something interesting in the chat. And would you like to explain what you don't understand?
Oh, I was just agreeing with her that, you know, like sometimes I may not be able to explain why it's wrong, but I can just know that it's wrong because it sounds wrong. It doesn't sound right, you know, but that's because I've been exposed to English my entire life. So then when someone says something a little off, I'm like, I can't tell you exactly what the problem is grammatically, but I can tell you what you said is wrong, you know? So that's all I was trying to express.
And also grammar, I have friends who say, I want to know the grammar rules. I don't know them. Because
you see grammar books, like they're huge. Nobody knows all of the grammar. Well, maybe there's some weird nerd people that really, really just get into grammar, but like they're like 600-page books to explain all the grammar rules. It's not even practical to know all of them. And native speakers love to break grammar rules.
And there was someone it was a Toastmasters club that Cynthia was telling me about, Victor, where there was a guy, and I think he was from Pakistan, who was saying, I want to know the grammar rules. And I'm like, and I said to Cynthia, they're not important in speaking. What's important in speaking is to say the word, to just get the words out. You don't put periods. You don't worry about adverbs. You don't worry about adjectives.
Having a basic knowledge, though, Carla, is important because, like, it can be very confusing if they don't know the proper structure of a sentence. And understanding basic grammar can help them to understand the structure of a sentence. So I see why it's important. When you're in an environment when all you are is exposed to relatively well-spoken sentences, it's easy to not need to know those grammar rules. But when you're learning from their standpoint, it is important because, like, they say things in weird order. So, like, I store go tomorrow would sound really wrong if I said that to you. But in their language, that might be the correct way that they would place those words, and it's natural for them. So do you see why basic grammar is important?
Oh yeah, I understand it, but I don't feel there is a major need to just focus on grammar.
Oh, I agree.
That was the point. This person was asking questions about grammar that I would have never been able to answer. You know, what is an auxiliary verb? I have no idea. I don't remember any of that. Do you remember those things, Victor?
Of course, I got A's in English for 12 years in a row. I loved English. I loved memorizing the parts of speech. I loved diagramming the sentences. Even though even though sentence diagramming helps you more with organizing things and coming up with categories more so than helping with English, I loved every aspect of English, especially the writing. So, yeah, I know an auxiliary verb is a helping verb, like has been done. That's an auxiliary verb, has been.
Thank you. I would have never known that, the term for it. Halong, my English speaker from Vietnam, what do you have to say about this? By the way, I want to mention we have the United States, Pakistan, Israel, and Vietnam. Isn't that cool? And none of us, maybe I'm wrong, have ever met in physically, but we've all met here, which is the really cool thing. Okay, Halong.
Yep, I agree with you on. There are a lot of factors when people they are using the way to teach our generation, I mean our students and people around us English. Here I can see that even my student with like a 10 or 15 years learning English, but they are not confident enough to talk in English. Even with me 20 years, and after meeting Carla I don't know. My students, well, right now it's the same like a situation like me. So I don't know why. So like educational system here, maybe we should change. We should reform our educational and teaching methodology. We just focus on writing, grammatical structure, a lot of things. I have a lot of words in my brain, in my mind, but I'm not able to transform it, to put it from my mind, to remove it, to speak out. So that's a problem here as well. How to communicate, how to talk without speaking, without practicing, um, practicing and talking every day, right? So we should build a habit to talk in English on the daily basis. That's the way I can notice that.
And even if you come and you speak for 5 minutes to a friend every day, eventually it's going to be longer. But if you say, oh, I'm going to call Mara, she has agreed to speak with me in English 5 minutes, 3 days a week, and you set a time, that will allow you to improve your English very easily. But, your fear is what's keeping you. When you tell yourself, I cannot do this, you're right, you cannot do it because you're not believing in yourself. And when you begin to believe in yourself, that's when that growth begins to happen. And View Attitudes is really good about talking about this. And he's looking down, and I think he's busy on his phone, but I'm going to bring him back to the conversation.
I want to know if everyone here is on WhatsApp, and is it permitted to talk to people on WhatsApp in your group?
Sure.
So how do I send them my WhatsApp connection? I don't even know how to do that.
You know what? We can create a WhatsApp group from the people here. You could do the creation.
Oh, you could do the creation instead of having to teach me?
Oh, you need to learn. If you can get everyone's WhatsApp number, I'll show you how to do it.
I don't know how to do that.
No, ask them to.
I don't even know how to get my own WhatsApp number.
I know.
Mara,
Oh, you do? Okay, you create the group.
Will you do that for me? And
Yes.
include me in the group. You have my number.
Yes, I will do that. But maximize just 8 members. Not more than 8.
Well, there's only 6 of us here.
For calling by video call on WhatsApp, just the biggest number is 8 members.
Okay.
That's limited. Yep.
But that's good. That'll give people a chance to start to know each other and wanting to communicate. And I know that there are people here who may not have the time to be on WhatsApp every day to do it, including myself, but I'll find some time to do it. That will help grow the group. Okay.
Yes.
If whoever gives you their WhatsApp number, let's create the group.
Yep. And Carla, on Telegram, we can make call like this with maximize 30 members, video call and share screen and everything.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Even
you can record. You can record.
Yes. You know what?
Dr. Hong. Dr.
Yes.
Hong.
Yes.
Please share please share the link of a bad teacher WhatsApp group, so they will join.
Yes.
So I think there is one.
I think you got lost again.
Connection problem, internet connection problem. That's my friend, Carla. He's from Iceland.
What friend? Kader?
No, yeah, Kader is one of my friends, but he's talking about my friend, the English teacher from Iceland.
English teacher, yes. He used to say that you should tell me bad teacher, not good teacher. So he has a WhatsApp group, and we are member of that group. So sometime whenever he has time, so he arranged Zoom meeting and he talked to us. When we said to him that you are a good teacher, he used to say many times that no, I'm bad teacher, I'm not good teacher, I'm bad teacher. So
Kadar.
Yes.
Where are you? What's behind you?
I'm in bed.
Oh, okay, because it looks like you're inside of a long box that has
No, no,
cushioning
no.
on the
I'm in
inside.
bed. I'm in bed.
Actually, Kador, can I say something? When you come here, this is like a classroom, and I don't
No,
like
no.
people laying in bed. You kind of looked like maybe you were not, and that's why I didn't mention it. But I would
Pasakena, sit
appreciate-
up.
What?
I told him to sit up in Pashto. Pasakena, sit up.
Yeah, you need to sit up, Kadar, or I'm
I,
going to need to
uh,
Kadar,
here is night and
whoa,
I am little bad.
Kadar, listen to me, because this is very important. When you come here, there are people from all around the world watching. And if you cannot represent your country correctly, I cannot have you here. So please sit up. It's not a if, and, or maybe. You need to do it.
We were just talking about how everything is connected in some way, shape, form, or fashion, so that everything that we do has an impact on something else and cause something else to happen. So that even though you're just chilling and we're just having a talk on Zoom, someone will see somebody's picture here, reach out to that person, something will happen as a result. Someone will see your picture or your image and maybe not reach out to somebody, but they'll make some decision or have some thought that's connected with what they saw on the screen. So that you want to present yourself in the most favorable light all the time, which is why I look like I do. I hope I wasn't talking too fast.
No, you were fine for that. But this is very important. Mara knows it's something that I have been saying since the very beginning of the show. The show goes out to the world, and the people coming to the show represent their country. And when you represent your country, you don't want to come wearing underwear or not dressed appropriately. And you want to realize that this is a classroom. And in a classroom, you sit up. And Kadar, I've been really gentle with you about you not having your camera on. But the next time I have to ask you to open your camera, and I won't ask you, I will just have Zoom Manager remove you. You have 5 seconds to put your camera on and for you to be sitting up straight as if you're in a classroom. Thank you.
You know, Carla, you remind me of the teachers in high school. You know, during lunchtime, they'd be monitoring the students. You know, they might be sitting in the gym to make sure you don't walk across the gym floor. You know, you'd be the teacher that would be sitting on the far end of the gym, just monitoring, right? And they'd wait and see the student walk in the opposite door and walk clear over to the other side of the gym, getting ready to go out the door. You say, hey, hold it. Go right back. Go right back where you were. You're not supposed to be walking on the gym floor. And you just made me think of that because I used to have teachers that did that in high school. Just go right back.
And it happens, and it's, you know, when we're here, we need to represent our country. And we need to represent it well. Unfortunately, there are countries in this world who do not have a great reputation. And I hate to say it, Pakistan, before I began speaking to all these Pakistanis, did not have a wonderful reputation in my mind. They do now. Excuse
Would you like to
me.
repeat it again?
You know what? I'm going to mute you and you're going to listen. And as I learned, I hate to do that, but as I learned to learn the people and I began speaking more and more to people from Pakistan, my understanding of Pakistan changed considerably. Mara can tell you that. She saw me grow tremendously. And that's why when you come from any country, if you sit up and you represent your country well, you're representing your country throughout the world. And it's very important. And the reason that I muted Kater was, one, I teach people not to interrupt when someone else is speaking. And I do my best not to interrupt anyone else. It's two things are in a conversation. One is speaking. Everyone here speaks well. But number two is listening. And including me, we don't do it well enough. So it's something that we can all improve. Mara, did you want to say something?
We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so use them proportionally.
Thank you. I was just thinking about that quote. Hadar, are you sitting up or are you laying in bed again? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to remove you if you're not paying attention to what we're saying.
Okay, it will be good.
I asked you a question. Are you sitting up or are you laying down?
Yes, no, I'm exactly attentive toward you, but whatever you want, you can do. You are free.
I know I'm free, but
Yes.
you answered my question, so I will not
I,
remove you.
you can ask from Dr. Hong that which kind of person I am. She know me from around about 6-7 months or 1 year.
Wonderful. I'm not going to ask that question. I already know what kind of person you are. But I'm asking you to represent your country like the person you are. And that means you're sitting up.
Yes, you are right.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying.
I'm representing my country.
Right. And I need you to sit up. Go on, could you?
Kater, she's asking for you to sit up because it's respectful for all of us, not just Carla. But like me, I actually do feel uncomfortable when I talk to a man that's laying in a bed. It makes me feel uncomfortable, and it wouldn't make my husband very happy either. Just like you wouldn't want your wife talking to some man laying in the bed, would you? Probably not. So for respect of me, for the respect of Yachevid, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, for the respect of Hung, for the respect of Carla, for the respect of Victor, please just sit up and allow us to feel much more comfortable. I feel more comfortable now. Thank you so much, Kater.
And so do I. And you know, usually I don't spend this time on this topic. I just remove people. But in this case, because I knew what he does and I know what he does with children, I gave him a break. I will not give him a break or anyone a break like this again. I know, Victor, it's okay.
Thank you, Victor, for joining. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
And
Okay.
Victor, do you have any last words before you go?
Bye-bye now.
Bye now, Victor. I'll talk to you later. Thank you so very much. Okay, we are going to be ending this in a minute or two. Who has some last words to impart to everyone before we actually end the show? Huang?
Yeah, thank you so much. So the final words here, like we are helping people and supporting people, and sometimes we are strictly doing something just we want people improve, right? I'm sorry. So we are doing good things for them. So please understand us and how much you improve, so how much happy we are. So that's why, yeah, I want to say that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
doctor, and
Excuse me. I'll come back to you in a moment. Do you have anything to say, Kevin?
No, nothing too specific. Just that it's nice to interact with people from all over and to learn from everybody and broaden horizons.
And that's exactly why I do this. Thank you, Kevin. Mara, do you have any last words?
It was so nice getting to meet all of you guys. I am relatively new to meeting you, Kevin, and to Hong, and to Keter and and then who was it? James or Victor Jenkins. I hadn't met them. I've known Carla for years. And I love meeting new people. I love looking at the beautiful smile on Hong's face. She has just this bright, sunshiny spirit that's uplifting from her. And it's so pleasurable to see that on her face. And I love that Kevin is, a native from America who is, shifted to Israel, and doing her work there and helping them to do the translation. I love that Keter is an administrator for his schooling system and helping to make sure that the rights of the students are being well managed. So thank you all for joining, and just always have patience and consideration and recognize that oftentimes we might do something unintentionally, but always look for the best of intentions in each other. And hopefully that'll help to alleviate a lot of problems, with miscommunication.
Very good. Thank you, Mara. Keter, would you like to say some last words?
No, I have no last word because first I was talking, but you muted me. That is why I do not want to talk.
I muted you because I was still talking and I wanted to go through some other people.
Okay, no problem.
So
I would like to talk. I
Keter?
would like to talk. I would like to talk. Do you know why are you so much hard? Be soft. Do not be. You become annoyed very quickly. So do not be annoyed very quickly.
Keter, I gave you more chances than I normally give people because there are some rules in the program. I kept explaining them to you. I allowed you to lay in bed. I would have removed you much quicker if I didn't think you had something to offer. You need to also learn to listen to what other people are telling you. I'm not the only one who spoke to you about laying in bed. I'm not the only one who had to speak to you about interrupting. We need to really use both ears and one mouth. I don't like being this hard on you. You put me in this spot. And anyone who has been around me knows what I'm saying. Huan couldn't tell you that. She comes to my show almost every day. It's amazing. Mara can tell you that. Kevin can tell you that I was extremely gentle with you. And we're not letting anyone else in because we're ending the show. But Huang, could you please explain that to him? Because you seem to have a good relationship with him.
I was just joking.
Excuse me.
You took it by your heart.
Do I need to mute you again?
No.
Then you need to listen. I asked Huang to talk. I didn't ask you to talk right then. Huang?
Yes. So yes, I had an intention to let him to explain to him after this. But right now, yes, I can say right now, like today is much easier for you because I have observed that in other section, like English foundation, right? There directly, immediately remove. But today is much easier. So yes, so I can see, yeah, she explained, she gave you time and something like that. Yes, so you should learn more from that. Yes.
I gave you a lot more extra time, Cater.
Carla,
And
can I
a
say
lot more
something?
patience. Yes, Mara.
I think a little bit is a little bit of miscommunication.
Oh,
Not in the sense that, like, I think that he has good intentions, you have good intentions.
right.
I noticed that when Dr. Hong was talking, he did, like, after she got done talking, he wanted, I think, to say something related to that. And so his intention was good, but it wasn't that moment. You know, and I would request that Cater maybe be prepared, take a note. I know that you probably had something valuable to say to Dr. Hung, and I would have loved to have heard it. But it wasn't the right moment at that time. And when you did have that opportunity, you didn't embrace that opportunity to go back to that situation. Maybe you lost that thought, but take a little note so that way you're actively participating in the conversation in case you forget them. Because I do think that you just want to reply, you want to respond. Someone says something to you, you say something to them, they say something, and then you expect to be able to say something back. And sometimes Carla doesn't work that way. She goes to the next person, and then you feel like, I didn't get to say what I was going to try to say. So I understand where you're coming from too. I don't want you to think that, you know, she's ganging up on you, you know, but she also has to make sure every single person in this live stream is participating and feeling valued in the conversation. So sometimes she does do that. And yes, you still just want to say something, but have patience and give that opportunity for her to come back. Maybe put in the comments, can I add a point to that? I would really love to, you know, give my point of view, or I wanted to ask a question. And I'm sure then she'll be much more receptive and less harsh and more soft for you. Okay, Cater?
And actually, Cater, I was about to come back to you after we made the circle because I wanted you to hear what everyone had to say. You were not being thrown away. I just wanted you to listen. And I really do need to end the show in a few moments, but I want to give you a chance to talk. Because part of my responsibility is giving everyone an opportunity, except for Zoom Manager, who cannot talk for certain reasons. Okay, Cater, go to it.
Okay, so I was just joking. I will be serious, right? And I will arrange a chair for a meeting. So I will talk from chair. I will not lay down on my bed, and I will fulfill all your requirement of your Zoom meeting. Right? You will give me more and more chance for talking because I am learner and you are teacher, you are coach. So you should to give us more time instead of you are talking by yourself.
Well, Cater, usually I don't speak this much on the show. I needed to
So
because of what
you,
happened.
you will make us correct because if someone want to learn from you, so you will teach them. If suppose if someone want to learn from me, so I will give them more and more chance. I will not threaten them to do not do like this. I will hate you. I will kick you from the Zoom meeting. So I will motivate. I will motivate them.
Cater, I have been giving you a lot of time today. The show is over time because I wanted to give you some time. And you are more than welcome to come to the show on Tuesday and Thursday on the Speak English Foundation page. I have another show. Actually, I have the kids' show in less than an hour. You're welcome to come. You're welcome to be a part of it. But you need to understand, I don't mind joking. I don't mind having fun on the show. But the things that you were doing were things that were not acceptable on the show. And I allowed you to stay because I knew that you were a good person. I knew
Yes.
you're interrupting. I knew you had something to offer. So I allowed you to stay in order for you to get that opportunity. But, you know, there has to be a point. I need a break between shows. I do these programs twice a month, the meetups twice a month, but I'm always on my show 3 times a week. And with that, we really need to end the show right now. I am going to be back with the English show for people who are 20 years old and younger in about 45 minutes, and we will be speaking in English with people as low as 5 years old to 20. And if you're 21, the day you turn 21, no, you can't come. And with that, let's wave goodbye. And we will be back
Hi.
later.
Hi, everybody. I'm waving. You just can't see it because I don't have a
That's right.